But I'll be surprised if CeeDee Lamb gets a deal from Jerry Jones before week 1. I think a lot of players are looking to show general manager front office I think the longest holdout was Larry Johnson with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
It was the longest holdout. He was watching the season go by. He did not care. A lot of players are not willing to sacrifice that. I think that's when the running backs declined. I think when he did that and nobody else would do that, nobody else did that besides Larry Johnson, the running back position declined after that. Went downhill. And I think the wide receivers don't want that to happen. So I feel like I don't feel like he's going to get a deal. I don't. They've been doing this since last year. They were trying to get a deal done since last year. That's what I'm saying. I don't expect them to get a deal done before week 1. I just don't see it. Unless Jerry Jones just wakes up one day in a cold sweat, like, I had a dream that we need to sign CeeDee Lamb.
You never know, man. You never know. You may wake up one of those cold sweats.
Oh my goodness. That's so bad. I don't know why I said a cold sweat. Like he's on drugs or something. I don't know.
Like he's on drugs or something. Now get into Mr. Noah Lyles, Mr. Noah Lyles, calling out Tyreek Hill, called out some NBA players as well. He's been just very, very vocal about
sassy.
About things. Yeah, very sassy.
So professional.
That's the word.
Professional, sassy, really sassy.
He really is. But just has been very, very outspoken about this this race, Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles. Who you rolling with?
Tyreek Hill. You know why?
Yeah, for sure.
It's Noah Lyles' first 60 meters, and that's why he said 60 meters, not 100. First 60 meters are terrible. His after that, that's when he turns it on and he can come get you. But in the first 60 meters, I don't think he beat Tyreek Hill. Tyreek's get off is quicker, faster. And the 60 meters, I think he gets him. It's not going to be by much, but I do think he gets him. I do. Noah Lyles, he's a very confident guy, but 60 meters with Tyreek Hill, man, I don't know. And especially in the offseason where he's not really doing anything and he's like fresh. Tyreek's fresh. Yeah. I don't see him beating him in 60 meters. Now 100, oh no. 60, I think Tyreek gets him.
Yeah. I would totally go with Tyreek. I mean, that's just certain things you can put out and say that, oh yeah, like I'd be able to take this person in a race and this and that, but the more and more you look at it, bruh, Tyreek is different. His speed is just out of this world.
He's quick as crap, man. They get off. I mean, I've seen him in the blocks before, and I'm telling you, his block work is way different and better than Noah Lyles. And you can tell, like every 100-yard dash that Noah Lyles does, the first 60 meters, he's behind. He has to come get you. Now he has top speed. Don't get me wrong, he has top ended speed. But if the order to beat Tyreek, you gonna have to get him out the blocks. And I don't think Noah Lyles can do that.
Easier said than done. Way easier said than done.
You're Olympic champion and all. I want to like the guy. It's hard to just.
It's really hard to like him though.
Yeah.
Like the more and more when we like mention him and different things he does, it's just like it's hard to like you, bro. Like it really is.
Very sassy.
So funny. It's so funny you mentioned sassy. It was I was one time we were at bowling, me and some of the young adults at the church. And I finished up bowling and one of the guys told me, he's like, "Man, I completely random, but I feel like you have like the ability to be sassy." And I was like, "What?" Wait, what?
Why would you say that to somebody? You have the ability to. Everybody has the ability to be sassy.
Everybody does. Everybody
That's weird.
Does, honestly.
In the green room, we got to name that guy, whoever that person was. In the green room, we got to name him. Bring him to the surface. I bet I do. I bet I do. You have the
Oh
ability
man.
to be sassy.
This sounds so crazy.
You have the ability to have a personality. Like, bro, what?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know. Go figure.
I did want to. We obviously had to mention the Team USA basketball, them winning it. I do want to say the Steph and LeBron chemistry. We it
Mm.
has to be mentioned because I also do think that there's a
Uh-oh.
potential of a Steph to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not saying that it would happen, but it's just very interesting because like Steph, he makes the post about the collab post with LeBron, and then he takes out the Warriors in his bio and puts in Olympic champion, which I mean, Olympic champion like that is a lot.
I
That means
mean,
a
they
lot.
did not win last year, so I would rather put Olympic champion than
than Warriors. So I mean, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. But I do think, obviously, with what he did in that championship game, Steph went bananas. He went absolutely
yes,
nuts.
absolutely.
That was an incredible performance, and it's something. He just went into a different zone. And Tyler was asking me like the other week, like, where would you put that? Is that a top 5 Steph performance ever? And Tyler was like, there's too many other good Steph performances like that. That's how good
Disagree.
Steph's career. That's how good Steph's career is. That there's just so many good Steph performances that even like that one, even though it was really good, you can go to the Portland game. You can go to the Houston game where he had 0 points and then 32 points in the second half. You know, you can go to that game 5 against Cleveland in the 2015. You know what I mean? But to you, what were your thoughts on Team USA? You know, them pulling it out, and obviously, you know, Steph.
I'm going to start right there, man. I think this has to be top 5, or if not top 6. Just the stage. I think
Mm-hmm.
this stage with all the players that's on that team has to outweigh that every other moment. Like he was averaging 8 points before those 2
Yeah.
games, and just took off. He was the deciding factor of them winning. Like, man, that can't go unnoticed. And I think you can make the argument that that's maybe top 6 or top 5 moment of his career to redeem Team USA. And this is first Olympics, right? Yeah, this is his first Olympics.
This is his first Olympics.
And to be able to do that, like, man, I don't know, Tyler. I don't know. I think that might have to be edged in. Just the stage, them coming back twice, and being able to win. Yeah, and then him just knocking threes down and just being Steph Curry. And look at the age. Later in his career, when he's not in his prime, like full-on prime, and he's doing that, man, and to be able, man, averaging 8 points and then just go crazy, 30 points, like, man. I don't know. But this is a redemption for Team USA. I still think Steve Kerr as a coach is outdated. There's no possible way Jason Tatum does not see the floor. And we talked about that too. Yeah. That's my only not even a nitpick. Like Jason Tatum, and then people say Jaylen Brown, like he wouldn't fit Jaylen Brown in that system or in the lineup, let alone Jason Tatum. So I'm glad Jaylen Brown didn't waste his time. And he's underwater with a basketball and a weight.
Come on now,
living life.
Driving tracks with ASAP Ferg. Getting his
my goodness! It's
I did not need that song.
I did not.
But
he did it. You know, we like a genius. You've done everything in the world, and you're just like, you know, I mean, doing like robotics.
It's the summertime. He's bored. He's like, hey, I did the underwater thing. It's like, hey, I want to make a song.
I want to be like Kobe. You know, Kobe made a song. Deion Sanders made a song. Like, you might as well make a song. Oh, Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
I mean, Dame Dollar. He ain't too bad, but Victor Oladipo. Did you know Victor Oladipo can sing? Yeah,
Oladipo can sing.
I used to listen to his EP. I was like, man, it's not bad. But man, redemption for Team USA. and I'm super ecstatic. And I love the pettiness of who's ever running their social media page for Team USA's Olympics basketball team. Like, is it a championship now? Like, I love the pettiness because how dare you, Noah Lyles? How dare you? I want to like the guy. I want to like him, but it's difficult to do so. Like, you got to have go, feed shelters for me to like you now. Like, bro, it's at that point. Like, I need to see you do some philanthropy for sure. Gross.
You got to take it to another level. No.
You got to play Santa Claus.
Were you a fan of Were you a fan of Devin Booker's vlogging?
I didn't see his vlogging. I missed that.
Man. He did. Which honestly, I've been thinking about some extracurricular things to get involved in. I might start picking up vlogging. You might see some Wellington Burns vlogging.
I mean, it was vlogging of the Olympics of like the whole entire experience.
Just the whole thing. Him being at the seeing Michael Phelps, being at different games, just being in Paris. So I thought it was dope to document that, and just that is a special experience, obviously.
Absolutely, and you give the fans, a special one-on-one experience they don't even have to pay for. And, I get the behind the scenes and documentaries we got to wait for. We get it right.
Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
Which Savon is. I'll never forget that episode. We had Andrea on and. Oh yeah, that documentary, Savon was just like, yeah, this showed that Jordan was just an absolute jerk.
Yes, bro. Like, and it was all about him. It was the whole entire documentary was about Jordan, and yeah, he was just. I mean, he didn't care if being liked. I guess that's what made him so good.
Remember those days though? Those days were like we needed some entertainment, and I was like on a Sunday night, I was like, hey, this is what everybody else is watching. Like what else are we gonna be watching?
I mean, it was a bad documentary. I love the insight. But man, I just realized like Michael Jordan 1 is he's just a terrible human being.
I do think LeBron's documentary is going to be like much more beloved though.
Oh, for sure.
Beloved. It's going to be like such a like crowd pleaser. Like
absolutely. I mean, I don't understand as a person. Like, if you hate LeBron as a player, okay, whatever. But as an individual person outside of basketball, there's no way you can hate LeBron James, man.
I really want to bring on the biggest LeBron hater that I know, Ricky Duffy. I want to see if you.
Oh yeah. I know Ricky, man. That's crazy. Like, why do people hate LeBron? And it was like, oh, he left Cleveland, bro. Is that the only reason why you hate LeBron? Because he was smart enough to leave a situation where his career would have ended right there. He would have been just like Kemba Walker. He would have been like countless other players who were stuck in an organization who did not want to get them help. LeBron James chose his career over the city and team of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you hate him for it. Go figure, buddy. Yeah, bring him on.
I love the second era. Yeah, I love the second era of Cleveland. When he went back,
yes.
I think that was because you just look at those teams and it's a special run because almost every year the East was weaker for sure.
Yeah,
but every year they're in the finals.
Yeah,
every year like. He's giving them the potential to be able to compete for a title, even though they're going against the juggernaut of Golden State. But I mean, every year they had a shot.
Absolutely. And then the organization finally understood, okay, we got to get him players. Whatever we do, we got to get him who he needs to be successful.
Yeah.
And it took him leaving and showing what he could have done if you would have got the players I needed. Bro, and y'all hate him for it. And then he gave him a championship. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. But nah, that documentary is going to be definitely beloved. And I hope they show us parts of LeBron that we don't get to see on a normal basis.
Yeah.
Because
we saw somebody else do a mini documentary, which we'll get to later. But
yeah,
I think it's dope to see those behind the scenes things, like just those everyday things, just like, I mean, for the parts that of LeBron's preparation and just his regimen. 'Cause I think he has a uncharacteristic regimen compared to a lot of other players, and why he's able to still do what he does.
Absolutely. And that should give hope and inspiration to the young kids coming up, how much it takes to be a champion and have longevity in the sport that you choose to play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And now getting to, I completely have missed our topic list. So,
we're flowing, buddy.
But we're just flowing.
We're flowing.
We're going over with. And were there any preseason games for NFL that you've seen so far? I mean, obviously we saw Caleb Williams with Chicago. What he's been doing. Has there been anything in the preseason that has kind of stood out to you so far?
Caleb Williams, he made a throw that was ridiculous that a lot of veteran quarterbacks could not make. There's tangible things about him as a quarterback. For me, it was more so mentally. Like the throw he made running to the left, off balance, throwing with your right arm across the body. I've seen Aaron Rodgers make that throw so many times, and my goodness, he did it pinpoint accuracy. I'm excited to what he does, but I do think his mental is still not there to be an NFL starting quarterback. But he has the tangible things to be a good quarterback in the NFL. It's going to take some years. So, and then Jed Verse,
he's going to be painting his nails every week, as he said. That's going to be his motivation.
Yes, gross.
Get in the flow.
But man, oh my goodness, yeah, it's gonna be interesting in that locker room, and then yeah, it's gonna be interesting. This thing gonna become.
I did just for your expertise and for your experience. Let's time travel back to Pine Forest. If your starting quarterback was painting his nails every week, like what would it be in the locker room? Like if your teammates saw he was doing that every week,
we're roasting him until he changes it, bro. We're roasting him. There's constant, like, I won't call it hazing, but it's like, yo, bro, what are you doing? And I can't really say what I want to say because you get canceled for it. Yeah, it will be like slurs. It'll be like minor hazing, but I think that's how we show, and in a weird way, show that we care about somebody. Like, bro, what are you doing? What is that? Why are you painting your nails? Like, bruh. Yeah. So it'll be something, but it'll be get worse. But no, man. Now, as long as you can play, like, I don't, at this point, as long as you throw touchdowns and read the pocket and go through your progression, I don't care what you wear. Man, but they're gonna have to believe in him. It's gonna take a minute to believe in him, and when he starts showing the things he can do, then they'll get behind him. But I think mentally, he has some growing up to do. Obviously, he's a young kid. He got some growing up to do. So, but outside of him, Jared Verse looked good for the Rams. He looked real good in preseason as well as camp. There's some other players just smattering over, first preseason game, Jordan Love, first play of the game, bomb. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be exciting for sure. Can't wait. We got some chips on our shoulder. I think we win NFC North. Even with the Lions, I don't think Lions going to repeat what they did last year. I just can't see Jared Goff being as decently good as he was last year.
I really need to revisit that game. Like, go back and watch that that NFC Championship, because that still is a while. Just 24-7, and it just it didn't feel as though, like, sometimes the moment seems too big for a team.
Yeah,
but that second half was just like one of those spark halves.
They turned it on.
The temperatures were just turned on. They just turned it on.
And I mean, first play of the game, Jameson with the I think it was a sweep or a reverse first play touchdown. Like, I thought the Lions was going to take care of him, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I just don't see the Lions repeating the success they had last year. I just can't see it. And that's not me hating. It's hard to repeat success every single season, let alone getting to the playoffs, let alone going to the championship, right? I just don't see the
Yes.
Lions do. They did enough to be able to say, hey, watch out for the Lions. They're going to do the same exact thing they did last year. Just don't see it.
Yeah, and sometimes those runs just aren't replicated, and I think you have they had the right window last year. Last year, it
Absolutely.
kind of was the right type of window for them to have, and they were able to really run with it. And getting to our first album review with Larry June's Doing It For Me. Obviously, we've done some past album reviews of his, and with this one, man, I thought the production was really top tier. I think the beats on it, the beat selections were pinpoint, and it flowed. It really flowed well for me. I think this is a smooth type of album. This is in his pocket, in his lane for like what he does, and it works. It just works overall. And he was in a pocket for the most part. And I think that the collaborators of producers that he had really kind of coincided with what he's good at. But to you overall, kind of like what were your main thoughts with this?
Yeah. What we talked about before the podcast, the beat production literally made you want to sit there and listen to it. Like it was like, oh
Yes.
man, this beat's so good. I have to just not, I want to say stomach, it's just he's so consistent with his cadence and his rapping style that it sometimes it gets mundane and it gets redundant and you're just sitting there. It's like, okay, it's cool. Some people love that. And we've talked about, I said this before, the Larry June.
The Great Escape, the Alchemist, the
Yeah.
one he did with Alchemist last year. That was when I was a fan of, but you kind of were like, yo, the Alchemist did his thing, but Larry June.
It's just like, bro, you have to, you can't give me the same flavor pack of ramen noodles, man. Like you can't keep giving me chicken flavor. I need shrimp.
Any beef?
Right. I need beef, man. I need some sriracha mayo, some Hansen in this thing. I got to spice it up the ramen. Okay.
Cheese me, dog.
Street cheese me, dog. Like, bro, that's wild. We always somehow figure out to put Drake in into the category or into the conversation.
He did that for himself tonight.
Yeah, cheese me, dog. Man, if you ever listen to Drake in his regular accent, his Canadian accent, is the grossest thing grossest thing I ever heard. Like him just talking in his Canadian accent, I'm like, bro, who did you kill? Your music is a lie, sir, but it's still good.
Still really good. Still really good.
Oh my goodness. But anywho, nah, man.
Larry June.
Yeah. But nah, this was a good album. This was a good album. If you take away the nitpicking of his rapping style, I thought it was a good album. Good production. Yes. It's smooth. It definitely like transition well. It wasn't as much fluff as normal like hip hop rap goes for albums. Yeah. I think it was concise. I think it was 15 songs. Definitely in the niche in the mode that we like. 13 to 15 songs is pretty good. Anything over that, if it's a hip hop album, boy, you're fluffing it up. But I thought, for what it was, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. And also, like sometimes it takes different collaborators, different producers to make an album sound a little better. And I think maybe that might have been what it was for you.
Yeah,
like just to kind of like, okay, I need a different type of feel with this, a different type of just overall outlook of how this album is going to be put together. And I think that's what he was able to do with this one. Getting to our next review with Killer Mike's Songs for Sinners and Saints. This is Killer Mike's 7th studio album released earlier this month. And man, this one was this was a dope listen. I think Killer Mike is obviously with how good of an album Michael was last year.
Yeah.
And like that was just
Yeah, that
That's
was
just one of
so
the best.
good.
That album was so good, man. I'm just thinking back to like the first time I listened to it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing this for like a while. And then this one, I think it's very gritty. It has that, obviously, that ATL feel to it, and
Yeah.
I think he stays true to his roots and the cadence in it, and he just, it's very honest. It's a very honest type of project, and I think with this one, you're able to see him just
Oh,
not go away from from anything at all, and just stay with what he's, not with what he's just comfortable with, but also just what works best for the music palette that we know from him. And I think this one would just did that also. But to you, kind of like, what were some of your initial thoughts on this?
yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this album. 10 songs. You can't hate 10 rap song. I mean rap album. I mean, you're just not a hip hop connoisseur then if you hate 10 songs. But it did have like a similar flow to Michael. I think he understood what the formula was for Michael. He kind of like put it into this new album and like it was more concise. So, but I did enjoy it. Production obviously was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
His rapping style, he can switch it up. Like he's definitely one of those ones, and he hasn't missed a step since he's been rapping since what, like 2000s, like nine,
Yeah.
no, I think the 90s. Actually, he was rapping in the 90s. And yeah, man, Killer Mike, one of those old school rap heads that has stood the test of time and have showed the ability to adapt and continue to grow within your niche. And
Mm-hmm.
we see that with Nas, we see that with Killer Mike, we see that with Common, and oh man, I forgot his name. Jeez Louise, they just did an album together, him and Common.
P Rock.
P Rock, yeah, okay, yeah.
We did review that, right? I'm just trying to
Absolutely.
make sure we did.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
I wanted to make
we
sure we
did. It's been a while, but yeah, we did.
did. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.